silence, poetry, and listening. A Barbarian Lunatic production.
They say it helps to close your eyes, cowboy, and woman. Stand up, and then you begin to drift down through the layers, and it presents itself. And it can present itself all kinds of different ways. I remember one trip I had, I think it was this same trip, the 100 miles wide, 10 miles high thing. This wave came at me, and I barely had time to lay down. And after a long, long time, I became aware that there was a woman standing over me in some kind of tight-fitting suit, some kind of sexy outfit, and I heard a voice, and it said, they say it helps to close your eyes, cowboy. And so I closed my eyes, and it was just raging. And then after about 30 seconds, I opened my eyes, and this woman who was standing over me with my body between her legs, put her face right down next to mine and said, "Is it strong enough for you, asshole?" So, the humor of the thing is amazing. It can come at you so many different ways. And then the conversations take place. And they can be anything. I mean, I remember one trip where, something's happening and then click, and I'm looking at a map, and over here is the east coast, New England, Florida, so forth, and over here is Europe and England, and so I'm looking at this map, and then I see a little ship setting off from France, like a little cartoon ship. And the voice says in my head, each ship represents 10,000 settlers. So I see this ship, and it lands in New England, and then I see one leave from England, and it lands in Georgia. And then I see little villages growing. It says, each village represents a community of 100,000 people. Well, what is this? It's an animated movie about the colonization of North America. Great, thank you. I have no idea what this is for. The other thing you can do with mushrooms, which is really fun, is you can say to it, be MDMA, and it will just drop its outer space-ish garb and all that, and it will be MDMA. You can say to it, be LSD, and it will be LSD. And then, as I said, the scariest thing to say to it is, show me what you really are for yourself. And at that point, it just begins to come apart, and you can't stand it. After 40 seconds of that, you say, I'm sorry I even asked. Reassure me. And because you have the sense, my God, this thing is what it seems to be. It's a galactic intelligence. It's 1 billion years old. It's touched 10 million worlds. It knows the history of 150,000 civilizations. It's beyond your possibility of conceiving, and why it is communicating with an organic atom like yourself is not entirely clear. Its essence cannot be assimilated. It guards you from it. It protects you. And one thing I've always noticed about mushrooms is how incredibly kind it is to beginners. People almost never have bad trips early on in their involvement with it. It's once you trust it and it trusts you, then it says, how far do you want to go? How far do you want to go? And this is here on a place like Maui, where there's a lot of spiritual disciplining going on and a lot of stress on conscious growth, it's worth talking about this. I have the impression from psilocybin that if you truly want to be the monk on Cold Mountain, this is the way to do it. You can do it with all these other spiritual disciplines, yoga, diet, mantrayana, the whole bit. Everybody drives with the accelerator slammed to the floor. That's the only way to make progress in those disciplines, is work at it like a dog, and maybe you'll get somewhere. Once you come to psychedelics, you get a lot of interest in locating the brake pedal. The brake becomes central to the enterprise. It's no more about how can I move faster toward my spiritual goals. It's all about how can I prolong this so that it lasts a lifetime before I become incomprehensible to everybody who knows me. And if you wish that, if you truly feel drawn to sagehood, then all you have to do is take mushrooms a lot. I take them every few months. Some people take them every few weeks. Take it 3 times in a week at the 5-gram dose, and you will have to make decisions about what you want to do with your life. Because I've noticed when I take it in the Amazon, the perception that you really have to discipline yourself to resist.
It's 12 at night.
Is the mushroom says, go into the forest.
I think it
Take
helps.
off your clothes. You can survive in the forest. You don't need civilization. And I don't know whether it's true or not. I mean, there are horrible, horrible stories of people who were found raving mad 5 days later, driven so by the bite of insects. But on the other hand, the jungle is where we came out of, and you do have the feeling that you really want to go back to the camp, that you really
Voila.